Good morning. That was a strange start. Welcome to my untidy desktop, which I plan to fix after this stream. Got a few kind of incremental games to look at today. I don't know how deep the design chat will be because of that. I am not a natural fit for incremental games. That's not necessarily true. I played a lot of them back in the day, but the ones that I tend to find interesting are the ones that have lots of secrets and stuff to unlock. And the modern wave seem to not be about that. So we'll see how we get on, but we can still kind of look at the general vibe of these and like how the art is done and the interaction design and all of that kind of stuff. But just to sort of let people know up top, I find that incrementals a difficult thing to get into. Hi Kyle, hi Kana, hi Bernard in the chat. How am I doing today? I'm very tired. I woke up far too early. I woke up about 5 o'clock in the morning. How are you doing? I hope you're all doing good. Yeah, I keep waking up way too early and then just needing to have a nap later on. But yeah, can't be helped. We've got Sea and Sundry, which has been sent in by one of our patrons, which is the one where you play a sea otter, which is a cute idea. We've got a game called Drunk Woodcutter, which is a very promising title. Don't know if this one is really an incremental, but it felt like it went with the other ones because it's just a kind of laid-back game where you're doing something in nature. And then the first one we're going to check out is Pond Keeper, which has some lovely axolotls in the thumbnail. If you're watching this back on the VOD, hi. Thanks for joining as well. Do give it a like. Most weeks I do at least one of these. Occasionally I do more. Some weeks we do two. And it's a mix of games sent in by patrons from patreon.com/indiegameclinic and games sent in on the public form, which you can get to on indiegameclinic.com. We are a work in progress channel. Generally, we tend to focus these streams on games which haven't been released yet. And that can be at all stages. It can be a grey box prototype. It can be close to release. I try and cover a range of those things. But sometimes if a game is closer to release, we just end up looking through it and kind of working out what about it is good and where the good practice is that we could kind of learn from. Sometimes if a game is too close to release and it's got loads of broken stuff in it, it makes for a very sort of embarrassing experience of someone being told, why are you releasing this in this state? Yeah, this is Pond Keeper. Let's see what this is. And like I said, incrementals for me can do interesting things if they're about gradually unlocking secrets, but I'm not sure that that's always the case in this current wave of them. Okay. Hello. I'm Caroline. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hope you enjoyed your journey down to Sunbeam Springs. Why don't you take a look around? I will. Oh, we can zoom out. Getting a little bit tearing there on the screen. Is that something I can turn off? Will VSync do that? Yeah, there we go. We've got a spirit guardian in our pond. Ghost fish. With those eggs, we can start up the fish breeding business again and use the money to fund the restoration of the nature reserve. Okay. Try zooming out to see all of your... Okay. We've got loads of stuff to clean up. Thanks, Hooker. A lot of the music is not mine, it's from a library, and then I just sing jingles over it. I am a musician, I do make music as well, but I learned that one of my favourite podcasters, Adam Buxton, makes a lot of his jingles by just taking library music and singing over it, and then I thought, oh, I can do that, that would be a lot quicker. So, concentrate my music writing efforts on my real music, and then use the Epidemic Sound Library for the channel. Would you be able to restart the business and restore the Sunbeam Springs Nature Reserve? Sure. Hi, Flood. Hey, Luke. Okay, your fish have hatched. How lovely. They must be hungry. Select the feed tool at the bottom of the screen and then click in the pond to place the food. I'm not sure we need to be, like, interrupting everything with a full page pop-up for this. I think just making it clear that we need to press this button next is fine. It feels like it's not a complex enough game to need to stop and do a full screen pop-up like that. I'm not even sure if proper sort of character talking to you type tutorial is the right fit for this sort of game, but I think your mileage may vary. Oh no, what a mess. All this algae is mucking up the pond. Algae will appear when you add in too much food. About 1 food per 2 fish is what I would recommend. Clear it up by selecting the grab tool at the bottom, then you can pick up the algae and place it into the compost bin. Okay. It does feel like we're sort of taking 3 sentences of reading to explain a mechanic that people could just play with. You know, just bring up the grab thing and say, clear the algae. And then maybe later on have a tooltip that says, hey, you'll get more algae in your pond if you overfeed the fish. It's interrupting us a lot to tell us these big statements about how the game works. And I'm not sure... you know, this is already too much explaining for a very casual game, which is this is supposed to be a casual genre, right? You should give your fish some delicious treats. I mean, you just told me off for overfeeding them. I would bet they will enjoy these berries. Use the grab tool and pick up a berry and place it in the pond. These treats give the fish a big growth boost and also will never make any nasty algae. Yeah, the way that I would do this is make sure that when you have a quest up here, there is a picture on it that shows which object it corresponds to. So when we say feed your fish treats, we put a picture of one of those blue berries in. And then we don't really need anything else apart from to highlight the grab button and highlight the berries. Just quite a lot of reading for something that people just want to get straight into and interact with, you know. Think about what an incremental game like this is meant to do. It's almost like a fidget toy. And can you imagine if every time you got your fidget toy, it's got its 6 sides, you go and you mess around with one side, and then someone comes and gives you a long explanation of how that works. It's like, well, I can learn this just by messing around with it. Once each fish is at full size, you can gather scales from them. The colour of the scales is determined by the colour of the fish. Use the grab tool and gather scales from the fish by poking the flashing ones. Each fish can only give scales once. You can click and hold to grab all the scales quickly. Okay. Again, so much of this could be done wordlessly. We just highlight the button you need to use for the interface and then flash the fish. Yeah, it is, well, it's the writing is fine. I just wonder if this is the level of tutorialization people expect to receive when they go into a game like this. Keep feeding your fish and over time they will have enough energy to breed. Keep your eyes peeled for eggs. Okay, cool. Feed your fish to get more eggs. We've got different things we can sort of... Ah, that's cool. So eventually we're going to earn gold and then we can use it to buy these different ponds. And a lot of them have different little upgrades. Increased eggs. Here, take this fish scanner. You can use it by selecting the scan tool at the bottom of the screen and then click on a fish. It has a bunch of useful information. Most importantly, it will show you the mutations you can get when the fish breeds. Okay. So we've got fish scanner. I'm just clicking around to see what these other ponds do. This one has calm fish. This one has increased mutations. I don't think there's a little bit of thematic confusion in this game as well. Because you're kind of doing Southeast Asian koi pond stuff, right? We've got koi. We've got coins with the hole in the middle. And that all kind of goes together. But then we've got... You're clearing up the trash, and then also you want increased mutations in your fish, which, you know, mutation may actually be the thing that we're, you know, the thing that it is in terms of what we're talking about in terms of biology, but it doesn't really have the right emotional vibe for a chilled out game about looking after things in nature. So I'm not sure that I would use mutations as a positive sounding thing in a game like this. Variants, yeah. It just sounds like a very negatively weighted thing. And I think it would be fine if this was like a little bit more of a cartoony, chaotic, zany thing to be, yeah, your fish get mutations, but it's not. It's a chilled out. I mean, we've got this sort of pastoral classical music. Just take this fish around, take him for a little tour. Back in. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to physically clean the other swamps up or if they're just going to, you know, become tidy when we spend the money. You know, this dirty version is almost just like the blocked. These are eggs, I guess. Let's scan some fish. Okay, so mutations. Yeah, it's not the right word, is it? It's just variations, variants, adaptations, something that doesn't sound like... I mean, we're just so used to mutations meaning the worst possible thing in video games. Oh, I need to watch Existenz. My partner has never seen Existenz, and I'm always threatening to put it on. Okay, colour aqua, snow and snow. Colour umbra, snow and snow. Pattern zebra, snow and snow. Oh, so okay, so these are the things that they can turn into. They can turn into a zebra striped one, or aqua, or an umbra one. the gun made of chicken bones or whatever it is. Fish bones. It is fish bones, isn't it? Mutant fish bones. So good. I stole that for a D&D campaign once for our warlock. Our warlock had a teeth gun. So that's an egg, right? I don't think I'm supposed to do anything with it. I think the reason it hatches into an egg like that is so that you can go and put them in other ponds, but we haven't got another pond yet. Need to scan another fish. When two fish breed, there's a percentage chance they will produce offspring with new genes. The scanner will show you what new types of genes a parent can produce, but this only happens when the two parents are the correct color combination. The two required parent colors are shown in the scanner. Keep feeding your fish. Okay. The pond is filling up quickly. You better sell some of your fish to make room. Select the sell tool at the bottom of the screen, then click on any fish you wish to sell. The dots you see when hovering over a fish show their age. 4 dots mean the fish is fully grown. Fully grown fish are worth more money. Better genes increase the value of the fish. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this... The tutorial is doing something that I generally don't like to see in tutorials, but I like to see even less in a game that is trying to be more casual. And that is that it is telling us about stuff we don't need to know about yet. Right? Most of the time, the tutorial just needs to go, here is a new action you can do. Do it. Do it until you understand it and you remember it. And then, okay, there's this other piece of information about the action. And in this case, it is that the amount of money that you get is based on, you know, how mature the fish are. Well, is that a good piece of information to give to someone at that stage? Or are they just going to immediately forget it? So you're kind of creating more friction by having 4 paragraphs of text instead of 1. Or 4 lines of text instead of 1. And that extra friction you've generated has gone into telling someone something that they're going to forget because it's not really relevant to them yet. Yeah, kind of, we're exactly on the same page. It's got this relentless big whole page after big whole page tutorial, which to me makes it feel like the developer has gone, right, what happens in a video game tutorial? Okay, there's a pop-up and it tells you how to play, da-da-da-da. And they haven't thought about the specific context of what type of game they're making and why someone would play it. And I think, you know, if you go and look at any of the Node Buster games, or you look at a game about feeding a black hole or whatever, right? A game about feeding a black hole, like Aramis is very specifically like, I hate tutorials. And that's fair. And it's a type of game where I don't think people want to come in and have a tutorial. I think a game that... Any game that's like a strategy game or a like skill-based action game with a unique mechanic, people are accepting of the fact that they're going to have to learn something. But a lot of this should really just be introduced by flashing the thing that you're supposed to click. And, you know, flash the tool on here that you're supposed to click. Flash the thing that you're supposed to click on. You know, the other bits of information that are introduced at each step of the tutorial, like, oh, the dots are the age, I think they could be elsewhere. Or they could come up later, or... So what do the... We're getting lots of scales. Can we do something with those eventually? Okay, so we're looking around for the mature ones. Okay, we've got 57 gold now. I think we can open a new pond. Look at this blue one. Animations are lovely. Really like the way these guys are animated. This one gets increased eggs. Okay, so you need a certain set of scales to be able to purchase each thing. So we can't buy that because we need reputation. Got a new order available. My favorite fish is missing some scales. Do you have any spare to patch them up? Yes. For this order, the customer wants some of the scales you've collected. You can see your scales in the bottom left inventory. Once you have enough, click the complete button. You will earn money and reputation. Okay. Your next customer has requested some fish. You will need to catch the fish before you can complete the order. Click the collect button on the order, then click on the desired fish to catch them. Okay. Find me some new friends. Open the shop via the button in the top left. The shop doesn't have much to offer until we upgrade it. Level up. Now we can build a... I wanted to explore that menu on my own, and it just was like, nope. Next tutorial step. That shop upgrade has made a new plant available. You should buy it. Well, that's what I was trying to investigate of my own accord. And right, I'm gonna start an experiment now, because this is kind of annoying me quite a bit. I want to give this game a fair crack of the whip. I want to give it at least 15 more minutes. What we're gonna do now is just shut every forced tutorial pop-up that appears from now on. I'm gonna just close it and then see if I can just work out the game without it. The ideal middle ground is not no tutorial at all, and it's not what this is. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think maybe some of the information that they're trying to put in tutorials should be in like always available tooltips rather than being told to us once at a point where we're likely to just close it, because at this point we're irritated with being expected to read all these instructions, you know, 70% of which are for self-explanatory things in a game that's supposed to be kind of relaxing and casual. Crypt. Including one or more of this plant in a pond will increase the number of fish you can keep. Okay, let's do that. Let's purchase that. And we can purchase koi eggs, which we don't need to do. So where is the crypt? Place it in the pond. Okay, and we can still afford to unlock a new pond. Let's do that. And we do get to clean it ourselves, which is nice. Is that rubbish? I mean, it doesn't look very pleasant. Sorry guys, you're going in here. I like the economies here, though. Like, I know I've been complaining a lot about the tutorial, but most of the other stuff in this game I like. I think there's a little bit of thematic confusion with, like, it's sort of going halfway towards it being a Southeast Asian koi pond and then not quite committing in the other parts of the game. The wording around mutations, like someone said in the chat a minute ago, it is the scientifically correct term, but because it doesn't feel, it feels like a cartoony light game, it feels strange to be using the scientifically correct term, which then makes it feel like, you know, when we say mutations, we're more in the realm of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles territory and stuff that's a little bit more silly and dark about what that means. I love the animations. I think the economy is quite interesting. You know, we have to... There's basically lots of layered randomness, which is acting like a bunch of little interlocking slot machines. So we have to get the genetic mutations in the white koi to get the blue and the red koi to start off with. And the tiger stripe one, which I don't think I've had, or the zebra stripe one, I don't think I've had that one at all. And so there's a layer of randomness there. Then they're also dropping their scales, which give us these different color scales to collect based on which color they are, which is another random thing. And in a very skill-based game, this would be very annoying because it would be like, why are you punishing me, RNGesus? But I think in an incremental, it's really nice because it's just like lots of little random payouts, and occasionally you get something you really need. And then the economy is sort of designed so that these scales are part of the progression. So here we can get that one straight away. Yeah, we can clear that one out. What does this one need? This one needs 12 reputation, which we're not going to get in this time. Yeah, this kind of progression of unlocking. What I didn't expect, and I don't know what's going on here, is for this to still be this icky grey colour. What it looks like should happen is as you unlock the ponds, they go this colour, right? Because this still looks kind of... I guess that's a realistic colour. But... this, you've established this as the nice clean color. So when we unlock a new pond, it should go to that. And I've unlocked this one. And as far as I'm aware, I've cleaned it out as much as I can. But it still looks all murky. And that would be fine if that was just the established color for all the water. But we've established that this is what the nice water looks like. And maybe there's something I need to do to clean it that I just haven't worked out yet. But yeah, I mean, the cleaning seems to just be tapping on these things until they're gone. But I do think these are supposed to be bits of trash. I don't seem to be able to pick them up or anything. So maybe there's something I need to buy. Maybe I need to complete more orders and level something up in the shop until I get something that cleans the ponds and I'm just sort of racing ahead a little bit. No, they're both... I mean, I've got both of these ponds and they're both icky. So I think you are supposed to clean them out. But, right, place down plants. We're supposed to place down more plants. I think we needed more space. You should purchase a new pond. I've already done it. So it's advanced. Okay, that was good. The tutorial wasn't broken by the fact that I'd done steps out of time. That's good to see. This new pond is a bit of a fixer-upper. You can use the grab tool at the bottom of the screen, then pick up the debris and place it. So I tried that. So pick these up. Oh, okay. I just didn't pick them up right. There we go. It's cleaning out now. Move orange fish into the new pond. I said, I'm going to just skip them all. Open the collection journal. Okay. I think this should generally... This should be able to do enough to just take us through what the tutorialists want. Tutorial complete. Okay, take a look at the journal to see your progress. That's the zebra one that we haven't seen. We can breed an Umbra and Aqua to get something. Umbra and Umbra turns into something else. I did try and pick these up with grab. I don't know if I just went over them too fast or whatever. I'm not sure. Yeah, let's go and feed these guys. Base set of interactions in this is wonderful. It just is way too committed to interrupting you a lot to explain things which are really self-evident. Yeah, Green Frog, I think you're right. It needs to trust the players. Otherwise, where's the joy in it? It's just being given instructions, and then it's not instructions in order to, like, exercise a skill or anything, really. So if you take away the joy of working little bits of it out yourself, then what's left? New order available. You need something new. You want an Aqua Koi. Okay. You need 5 Aqua Koi. And who does this one? They want a rainbow of scales. So I need 5 blue scales. So I want to try and complete this one before this one, because this is going to get rid of some of my capacity to collect blue scales. So we want to do the rainbow order first. So because they all have their own drop tables, right? So the red koi are giving me black and red scales. The blue koi are giving me blue and red scales. Sell some of these boring old whitefish. There's a lot of stuff to do to keep you on your toes. Clean this out. So this is increased eggs. So I think what we should do is make sure that this only has our red and blue fish in, or orange and blue fish. Yeah, that's part of my beef with tutorials. Kind of what you just said in the chat is like, if someone gets sick of the tutorial and stops paying attention, they're not going to see it ever again. And if someone just stops playing your game for a few weeks and then they come back, you know, you're going to have problems. And this is why you should always focus on the always there option, the tooltips or whatever, and make sure that that's right. Because that's your forever tutorial. That's the thing that's always going to be there. and it's more useful to everyone. It's not just part of the first-time user experience, it's for re-onboarding existing players and stuff like that. And the problem with the tutorial we saw in this is that I think what you could do is go through that tutorial and find all of the concepts that it teaches, and then just make sure that there are tooltips on a lot of these things, right? We could have a little panel down here for tooltips, and when we mouse over these things, we get a little descriptor down here, and I'm pretty sure most of the more unusual things that the tutorial told us about, like the fish aging and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure there would be somewhere here where we could... So if we go onto the sell button, right, and we have a tooltip for sell, that would be a good time to have the always available information that tells you that, you know, what factors make fish worth more or less. That would be a perfect place to put that, right? And then you don't need to tell people in the tutorial when it's not really that relevant yet. The tutorial should just be saying, hey, now it's time to sell some fish. And again, a lot of those things, it can just be done through the quest system. The quest system tells you to sell 2 fish. It has a little picture of a fish up there. It highlights some fish and highlights the sell button. Nearly every step of the tutorial could have been handled that way. Right, do we have some blue koi for this? We can complete this one now. And I think we can complete that one. So we're going to collect 2, 3, 4. Okay. Go to the shop. Level up the shop. Now we can get a moss ball, and it increases the number of fish you can keep in a pond. Okay, so we put one there, that goes up. We're increasing the capacity of each pond, but putting more than one is just cosmetic. It doesn't do anything after that point. These koi love a little turnip. Look at that. We've got a new one. Is that a totally new one? Yeah, we got a crimson fish. And a gummy one, a pink one. So we can breed the pink and the... So that oh, we need to just go and look at the individual fish, don't we, and scan them. So I'll scan my new crimson fish. Crimson and citrine. We don't have citrine yet. But if we breed an umbra and a gummy, we get the citrine type. Oh, we're getting some good colours here. Look. Let's put you guys over there. And the red one needs to be bred with the citrine, but we don't have a citrine until we breed these two together. And then the blue one, umbra and aqua makes crimson, which is what we've just got a few of. Yeah, idols are a subgenre of incrementals. There's a whole genre fandom over there that has these debates, but to me, what makes an idle game is it runs in the background most of the time. So it's like one of those desktop toy games, or it's a game that's on your mobile and you get out and do some active stuff and then leave it and come back in a few hours and stuff has progressed. That's what makes a game an idle game to me. It's that kind of Tamagotchi type quality of, oh, it's always doing something. Okay, well that's enough of that for today. I think we're going to go and check out some sea otters next. All of the stuff that you do in this game is lovely. I just think rethinking the tutorial design is a good idea. Because it's just going to frustrate so many people and force them to bounce off this game. And I think if you were to take all of the people that would enjoy this game, and you take the people who would be frustrated by the tutorial in the way that I was, and you take the people who you might lose if the tutorial isn't there, I just think the second group is negligibly small compared to the group of people that are gonna like get really feel like that tutorial introduces way too much friction. We're going to help a sea otter collect whatever the tide brings in. Clams, shrimps, urchins, and more drift in across the day. Okay, so just let me just see if I've got any notes on this one. So, Green Shade Games, thanks for sending this in. This is one of our patrons. Also popped up very briefly on the playtesting video that we did a few months ago. So thanks for contributing to that as well. And it has devlogs on the itch page. And what are we focusing on now? So I'm just trying to read the... Focusing on the upgrade tree now and scaling the overall game progression. Okay. So for me, I'm immediately thinking, what is the fantasy of upgrading an otter? It looks very lovely though. We're collecting stuff. Are we put? That's a wonderful idea for a clicker mechanic. We collect the little oysters. We smash them with our rock. We got a happy happy otter. He's happy now. We press continue on the upgrades. Okay. It didn't say it. Just took us to the next day. Maybe when the dev says they're working on the upgrades, it means that it's not in this build. Lovely animations on our otter friend. I like that the shells occasionally fade back out again as well. You get a few little missed opportunities if you're not clicking fast enough. So it does create a little tiny kind of mouse aiming micro game. Incredibly charming. I think they're deliberately small, so you do have to aim a little bit. And I know that might sound really tiny and petty, but I think when you're trying to make chilled out games, you have to remember that there's still something the player is doing. There's still got to be a tiny little bit of friction. Even if the game is not like a, if you fail, you lose and you die type game. People still want to be somewhat stimulated by having something to focus on. And the fact that the shells are different shapes and you have a little bit of a time window to click on them means there's a tiny little bit of skill and judgment involved, which stops it being completely brainless. And that's helpful to have. I've been recently having a bit of a Minecraft binge again. I went back to Minecraft, and it's very interesting to play Minecraft like a big sandbox game, and just to find all of these little micro games that come out of the system in Minecraft. So, for example, when you chop down a tree in Minecraft and you want it to go completely, you have to find all of the pieces of wood in the generated tree, and some of them are like hidden away in the leaves, so you have to kind of look around and find them and stuff like that. That's a micro game. It's one that you're not forced to play because there's nothing to stop you leaving a block of wood hovering in the air, but most people will be naturally inclined to wanting to tidy up the whole tree and like get rid of that floating bit, so it generates a micro game. The other one is like, oh, I'm trying to build a bridge across a a gap and I'm trying to build out in a direction where I don't have anything to stand on. So I'm looking and sort of aiming down the side of these blocks and gradually placing the things and trying not to fall off. That's another example. Look for those things in games because they can make all the difference in terms of, you click the stars. Yeah, that makes sense. I will click the stars next time and see if they do anything. Even just the fact that there's a slightly different shape here each time, there's a chance that we can like lose them if we don't click on them quickly enough. we got a little prawn or a longustine or something there. We've got the otter expert has logged on. This is just this otter's particular style. Okay, yeah, there we go. So ideally these would have icons, right? So from a UX point of view, it's a little bit frustrating because we can only see what it is by hovering. And then once we've stopped hovering on that, we don't know what it is anymore because it's a star, right? So eventually these should have icons. I understand the dev's currently working on that. So let's see what they say. Forage items appear more frequently. The otter's rock does more damage. The otter helps you break items. Each additional purchase in creatures is... I'm going to go for more smashy rock. Okay. And that costs 40. Forage items appear more frequently. Let's get that now. Okay. So yeah, the upgrade menu needs some work. And I would try and think about how you theme that so that it's not too dry as well. You're going to need to have some sort of image or icon for each ability. So I would work out the style that should be in and then try and style that interface around it. It probably makes... I mean, you can do that sort of flat design. I guess it fits with the art style here, but I would be tempted to think about, like... I don't know, grab some like graphic design reference from things like national park signs and stuff like that. Just like great outdoors type stuff like Scouts badges. Like even that day counter in the corner, that could maybe have a kind of fabric-y Scouts badge type thing to give you the great outdoors fantasy. Forage items appear more frequently. The otter's rock does more damage. The otter helps... Okay, they're basically all the same thing for now. We don't get like a variety each time. Remember, folks, pick one of three is only interesting and meaningful because you're throwing away two options and they might not come back again, you know, next time or ever. That's what makes that mechanic work in game economies. It's the decision feels weightier because of the fact that you are losing things or you're throwing away options. I'm going to automate the otter. Does some on his own now. I kind of want I want an upgrade that gives me a queue where I can have 3 things on my belly and they automatically go up into the first position after one is broken. That feels like the killer app for otters in this upgrade system. getting some wrist clicky, hurty stuff now. So maybe I should have invested in the automation upgrade. So cute. I'm adjusting to a new vertical mouse, and my hand is screaming at me. It's going, "This is unnatural. How dare you use this more ergonomic thing that you're not used to?" Gonna let him do the work now. I think we might have seen everything this has to offer. It's a lovely project. I mean, I have to question, like, what is the end goal with this? Because it's really lovely. Like, all of the elements of this are really cute. Obviously, you could put more work into the UI and making it a little bit more visually interesting, but yeah, kind of. You're right. This feels more relaxed than the fish game. The fish game would have felt more relaxed if it just didn't interrupt us so much and make us sort of make us think it was more complex than it was, because it wasn't really. This is lovely, but I sort of have to think, like, what is the long-term game plan for this? What do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with it? Because I think this style of clicker, this is a cookie clicker style game. You know, there's like a big thing in the middle of the screen that I'm clicking, and for that to be sort of commercially viable as an indie game, you have to look at the precedent that's been set by those games. And what do people expect? Well, just like a kind of puzzle box that keeps opening up with new things in it. And we're not doing that here. We're doing a natural environment with kind of naturalistic stuff. It's really, really charming, but I think to say anything else about it, I would need to understand what you're trying to do with it. Because the animations are beautifully implemented. The sound is beautiful. This is very much how you know, I would like to see people approach these types of games, is just like make a really satisfying toy with loads of really nice interactions and then think about the other stuff later. But yeah, like Prince in the chat said, you just said, this is a good base. Finding out how to establish an incentive to keep going will be key. Yeah, and I think I sort of already thought that before I started playing, because you said, oh, I'm working on the upgrade tree, and I thought, well, what would upgrading an otter look like? And there's a bit of a challenge there, because we're not like running a business in this. We are literally just one otter. So there's kind of a limitation to the things you can do with that. Oh. But yeah, I think there's lots of directions you could take this in. And one is that you keep it a kind of cookie clicker, click the thing in the middle of the screen, gradually automate it, and you have like a way, like maybe more kind of variety in the upgrades and a richer range of upgrades that you can do. I could also see this working as a game where, you know, perhaps we are actually not just floating and we're directing the otter around and it's swimming around looking for things. So you could be doing something a little bit more active with WASD, where you're sort of actively swimming around on your back. But yeah, I don't know what the correct approach is, but I do wonder about, like, again, what are your goals for this, and what would make someone want to play this for more than 10 minutes? Because it's sort of I feel like it's shown us everything that it has to show us at the moment. And that's fine. You can make a tiny game, but a game that's this tiny and then like treating that as a product for someone to buy, I'm not sure is that viable. And that's fine if that's if your goal is just to make a cool little thing and learn, that's totally fine. But right, let's get on with Drunk Woodcutter next. An absurdly escalating wood-splitting sim where booze makes you stronger and upgrades only get more ridiculous. Can you make it to the rumoured rubber chicken? Okay. It's time to cut some wood. Is this going to be more fun with the gamepad? Let's try it. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Drink with that one. Shop with that one. Yeah, I will do the let's do the PC build. Okay. I'm trying it with the gamepad first. So I can... Okay. So that's what chopping feels like when I haven't had any of my super duper strength beer. I mean, I'm already really loving the variety of how it feels to strike the log from different angles and stuff. I'm going to turn the audio up a little bit. So that you get the sound effects and everything. That's a really satisfying interaction. It's kind of equal parts satisfying and frustrating. Because after you've taken the first chop, you kind of feel oriented and like you know what you're doing with the next one, but it takes a little bit of... There's a little bit of adjustment. Okay, oak or softwood? 50% more income from pine. It's the only thing we can afford, so let's do it. Larry Stump's injury attorney. Can't afford anything yet. So that gives me $3. I'm trying to understand how the scoring works. 3. So it's 3 per piece. So if I deliberately cut it into multiple pieces, do I get more money? Oh. I will get back to the drinking in a minute. I'm just trying to understand other parts of the game first. Yeah, okay. So cutting it into more separate pieces gives you more money. Okay. It's time to drink. Drinking makes you strong. One thing to note that when you're using the gamepad, it's very easy to like accidentally misclick when that screen comes up. So you might want to delay that slightly or delay the input on it. I'm not sure what the solution is, but I think that's going to be a problem. So Test it with the gamepad a bit. I know people tend to like bias towards testing with one device, but you will know what I mean when you feel it. Okay, we get oak. Right, is it going to give us oak, or is it going to give us oak and pine and alternate between them? What's going to happen in terms of that upgrade? It's so funny that you can just flip it off and not really cut it and still get paid. There was a pink thing there that I think was placeholder art, but it might have been something else. Oh, was it a pink elephant because I was that drunk? Was that what it was? I couldn't really see it properly. There's a pink elephant. Yeah, so there is it's not quite a degenerate strategy because you get way less money if you just do that. So there is a version of the game where you just do that, but you're not going to get the money as quickly, and then you're also not going to have the skill for when you need it, I guess. Yeah, it's time. It's time to injure myself. I think you can only injure yourself when you're actually sufficiently drunk. Okay. I've got a new technique. Okay, I'm going to play with the mouse now because I want to see how the game feels different, because I imagine it's quite a different sort of feel. So we're right-clicking to chop and then left-clicking to drink, which feels like it prioritizes them in a slightly different way, because it's so used to left being the primary. How we chop round these parts. That's how we chop. That's how Gramps taught me to chop. This is delightful. I mean, you said, how do I see the alcohol mechanic? I mean, it's kind of a push your luck mechanic, isn't it, really? It's like you are getting a benefit, but the window of time between drinking enough to be stronger and drinking so much that it makes it harder is very, very narrow. So it's kind of a push your luck mechanic. It's very, very close to real alcohol in a way that I haven't seen in other games. Yeah, that was some good chopping. That was some top tier chopping. Higher max strength boost. Oh, it's great. I mean, the chopping yourself works as a punishment for not really watching what you're doing, and it's not even the drunkenness that does that. It's like player carelessness that leads to the chopping your own leg. Ah. Such a satisfying interaction. Hardwood expert. Should have got that a while back. Yeah, maybe look at having some colours on the chalkboard upgrade screen just so there's some redundancy, and if people miss one sign of like what you've got and what you haven't, it's sort of, there's a backup. I couldn't be bothered to pull the axe out that time, so I just drank for a little while and then passed out. Living the dream. So what you could do if you want to meet people in the middle about... So someone in the chat a minute ago said it seems a bit too generous to give people... like, give them the money when they don't even chop the log like that. You could have an upgrade at some point that is like, you no longer get money when you don't split the log, but you get like 25% more when you do, or something like that. That might be a nice little trade-off, like a sort of mid to late game thing in the tech tree that basically makes the game much more skill-based, but you have to do all the grind to get to it, basically. Man. So we got ironwood. Does that mean that our hardwood is useless now? Can we not... We can't switch between them. Feels like we should get a random selection of all the woods we've unlocked, but I understand that the economy's not built around that. We've got Darth Maul now. We maulin'. Maulin' and ballin'. Lightning axe. Yeah, like, who was that in the Pulsar? I think you're right, because if you did have, like, each extra cut you make increases the value, you would raise the skill ceiling of this quite a bit, in a way that doesn't necessarily hurt the more casual, just whacking stuff version of the game, right? You can still play it that way, but then if people really want to take their time to try and cut a log into 6 pieces, and get, like, really good at working out how to do that, the game will reward them. And it doesn't need to be like crazy exponential, because then skilled players will break the game for themselves, but it could be just a little bit just to acknowledge that they've done that, you know? I don't know what happened there, I just fell over right at the start of the day. Lightning axe. Okay. I think we're going to get all the way through the progression. Of course. Looks like beetroot. Cutting beets! Yeah, it sort of doesn't have the thwack anymore, which is making it not feel as satisfying. Rubber chicken time. Wonderful. That's great. That's such a good gag. Can I cut my leg open with the chicken? Hang on. Oops. I'm confused by that. Like, the chicken isn't strong enough to cut the logs. Yeah, that's a great way to end a demo. I think it's a very, very funny to end the demo on a... You've got a funny game already. It's like, it delivers on what you think it's going to be. And then it's kind of slightly more kind of crunchy and satisfying to do the core mechanic than you would expect. And yeah, it's satisfying to do. There's a little bit of skill involved. Everything is kind of tonally coherent in this game. And you've got this funny, this sense of humor all the way through with the drinking and the hurting yourself. And then to end the demo on this gag of you downgrade into a chicken, it's just great. Gonna get my strength up. I will split the petrified wood with the chicken, because it's a very sharp chicken. Oops. I think the art direction is pretty good. I mean, bearing in mind this is going to be a joke game, right? It's supposed to be comedic. I feel like everything... Let's go back to the start. Is there a way to restart it? All of this like hand-drawn notes and stuff feels fine. Yeah, I mean, some of this... if this was any other type of game, I might look at some of this typography and stuff and say it looks a little bit tacky. But because we are in this goofy sort of slightly almost South Park humor type territory, I think it's fine. I love the fact that the audio directionality does stuff depending on how you turn around. Yeah, I think I would try and address that UX issue where people are missing the value upgrade thing down here, and maybe some of that is to do with color. Living the dream, living the dream, I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. That's it. That's enough drunk woodcutter for today. Thank you for your time, folks. There is a video coming out on Monday, which is a follow-up to Collab Jam, where we talk about what people learned from their games and what people learned from playing each other's games on Collab Jam as well. So that will be out on Monday. Those of you who are patrons will have access to that already over on Patreon. So I've started putting like an unlisted YouTube version of the video up, and then that's linked to Patreon. Thanks to everyone who supports this channel. Thanks for sending your games in. Like I say, the Otter game was from one of our patrons, and what I've been doing over the past couple of weeks is a new system where I pick patrons' games and then I pair them up with games that have been sent in to the form on indiegameclinic.com. Keep sending your games in. I'm not able to get around to playing every single one of them. the thing that you can do to increase your chances is just, you know, make sure you fill the form in like a human being, and you tell me why you're sending it and stuff. The thing that puts things right to the bottom of the list usually is when I get what looks like a load of publisher spam and it's all press kits and stuff, because that's not what this channel is about. It's not about, you know, marketing games. We want to try and, you know, help people that are still working on their games to get a little bit of exposure. Sure, that's part of why people send them in, but also to help identify those little issues and things that could be improved. But this is almost a perfect rendition of what I expect a game called Drunk Woodcutter to be. So take care out there, folks. Don't drink and chop, and have a lovely Thursday.
Oops.
Yeah, I think you can call it a simulation. I think when people hear simulator, they tend to be thinking of these like first-person physics-driven games. So I think simulation is totally fine. But I would use both the simulation and incremental tags when you put this on Steam, because it is an incremental as well. See you later.